What's going on, Will Freeman, RevolutionaryLifestyleDesign.com. You know what time it is, talking to you about how to stop at being needy with women for two reasons. Number one, for you, because it's not fun to be needy. It's not fun to feel anxious, not fun to feel anxiety. Okay, so that comes before the actual technique. That's first. Number two is because that is the fastest way to turn a woman off, to lose a girlfriend, to um, have a woman lose interest in you. Okay, but number one, it's for you. That's what you have to remember. So there's five techniques. Okay, technique number one: deprioritize women in your life. So first comes health, then comes wealth, then comes lifestyle, and then comes women. Okay, health needs to come first because without it you're dead. Wealth needs to come second because without it you're homeless. Lifestyle needs to come third because your lifestyle needs to be in order for you to be able to have health and wealth. You need to be getting good sleep. You need to be getting up early. You need to be getting organized. Check out my book, How to Get Organized, revolutionarylifestyledesign.com, to see exactly how to do that. Um, and then comes women. Okay? And that's not just in the sense of priorities, but those priorities extend to your time, right? 8 hours a day is sleep for your health, plus eating well and all these other things. And grooming, all these things that we do to take care of our body properly. Um, but the there should be at least 8 to 10 hours a day of working as well, to make sure that your finances are taken care of, right? So that's the bulk of your day right there, health and wealth. And the lifestyles is what's going to be able to create that, doing all those tasks. I used to use Wunderlist, now I use TickTick. Okay, and then it's time for your relationships. And this applies even if you're, in my opinion, if you're married or whatever. It's like you have to have those things handled. Okay, um, with no health and no wealth, there's going to be no women, period. Okay, and as a man, it's like you have to take care of yourself first. I think you can't help anybody if you have, even if you have, partner and kids. You can't help them if your health is fucked up and your wealth is fucked up, and your lifestyle's a mess. So those things have to be priority one, two, three. All right, that's where a lot of guys mess up, is they're making the woman priority number one. They don't even want to be priority number one. Women want a man on a mission, um, and women want a man who has money and who's in good shape. Okay, and that comes by making those things priorities. Now, look, obviously, you know, if your girlfriend's in the hospital or whatever, you drop everything. The same thing if you have kids. And I'm saying in general, those are your priorities and those are the bulk of your time. Okay. Number two, get state from other sources. You want to have as many things in your life that you get state from. Your male friendships, hot yoga, exercise, family, business, you know, playing chess, playing with cats. I've talked to clients, and every one of my clients gets different state from different things. Some guys like to play with animals. Some guys like to play chess. Some guys like to play sports. But you want to have like 10, 15, 20 things that you can go after that can get you state, as well as, state from your male friends, and just stay within yourself, being able to read, being able to watch stuff like this, being able to listen to music, all these different things. If your woman is like the last thing that you have, the last thing before depression, not only are you going to lose her, but you're going to go into depression. Like, if that's the only thing that you have going on, like, you want to have get state from as many different things as possible, because then you can always be like, the more things you get state from, and by state I mean what makes you feel mentally, physically, and emotionally good, the more options you have to feel good, and less dependent you are on any one particular thing. Okay, so that's a massive thing. That's basically what my site is. It's just a information on how to maximize your state from as many different angles as possible. Okay. Number three, unless you're committed, have other women that you have available or that you're talking to. Okay, unless you've actually committed to one woman, it doesn't make sense to not keep your options open. Now, like, if you're moving towards a commitment and it's a month away, or you just, then, whatever. But I'm saying, just like at the start of a relationship, don't just go all in and say this is the one, and feel it out a little bit. Get to know her first before you commit, and don't stop talking to those. You don't have to stop talking to those other girls, or maybe hanging out with some of those other women, just because you're starting to like this girl. Okay, because you want to be able to go into the relationship where you know the person. Okay, and not to commit too quickly, even if you like her, so that you can make sure that it's the right person. You can check out my girlfriend screening guide. That applies whether you're 25 or 45, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so keep your options open unless you're in a committed relationship. But even when you're in a committed relationship, you shouldn't be talking to other women, but you should still take care of yourself physically. You should still look good, so that if things don't work out, that, like, you're able to go out and get other women. It's always the most bizarre thing to me when I hear married. I would work with married guys, and they say, they put on weight and they think, well, it doesn't matter, I'm married, I've got her locked down. That's not how it works. Just because you're married, it's like half of those end in divorce. You still have to, be attractive for the person you're with, as well as for yourself, as well as, if things don't work out, you want to keep yourself attractive so that you can still have options. Okay. Number 4, sorry, I'm reading off my notes here. Number 4 is act like the man you want to be. So this is like identity level change. Does the man that you want to be act needy? Okay, the answer is no. You don't want to be the needy guy. So start with that. Like, put your character before your actions. Make your character a priority. Make your character about strength and hard work and following through on things, and not being needy. I mean, look, character is it's a daily battle to make sure your actions are in line with that. But at least start with, like, that core level identity change of being the man you want to be. I actually did a video on it, how to be the man you want to be. I highly recommend that. And it starts with the target. This is the guy that I want to be. These are the characteristics that he has. And so I'm going to embed those characteristics deep within my core, right? Start with the target, and then move from there. And then I'm going to take those actions that are in line with the character of the man I want to be. Okay? Not the man you are, but the man that you want to be, right? Whoever that may be. What would George Clooney do? Or, whoever your guy is, right? It could be just the future version of yourself. What would that guy do? And then it's like, well, why wait 10 years to start acting like that when I could be acting like that now? Start acting like that dude, like today. Okay. Number 5, know on a deep level that you can find other high quality women if you have, like, a special girl. Look, I'm saying, I'm not one of those guys who says, like, all women are the same. Okay, there are some very high quality women out there, and there are some women you definitely should not be in a relationship with. And high quality women do not come along all the time. Okay, it might take you 6 months, a year, 2 years to find someone who you feel like you could commit to. Okay, and look, I'm not selling commitment or not selling commitments. If you want to see my views, I did how to develop your dating game plan, where I did the pros and cons of monogamy. I'm not one of these guys who's dogmatic about things. I'm about, putting you in the right position, the right type of relationships for where you are in your life. Okay. But the truth is, a lot of guys have that phrase, not all women are like that, in these dating forums, to sort of, like, put a guy down. But here's the reality. There's a massive difference between a high quality woman and then a woman you shouldn't date. Okay, that applies to men too. I'm not throwing women under the bus. That applies to all humans. So, you might feel like you want to hang on to someone because they're special. Okay, and they might be special, but you know, by doing that, by being needy, that hurts your chances of holding on to that person. Okay, so you could recognize that, like, look, this is a special person, but let's take soulmate out of the picture. Okay, soulmate's gonna hurt you. The one's gonna hurt you. At the end of the day, if everyone lived to 2,000, there'd be like maybe 1 out of 6 billion relationships that lasted that long. Okay, nothing lasts forever. You know, it's like you might be with that person till you die, you might not, but we don't know with 100% certainty. Okay, and that could be a high quality person, but you need to know that, like, you'll be able to attract another high quality person. It just might take 6 months or a year. Okay, so that will stop you, that will help stop you from like clinging on to that person like it's your last hope. Because anytime that you think that that's your last hope for like a happy relationship, you're gonna lose that girl. Okay, I'm not saying don't invest, don't double down on someone who's special, don't, you know, like, take really good care and put a lot of effort in. But I'm saying, like, you know that if you can attract one high quality woman, you can attract another one, um, and that should help you not be needy with that particular person. Okay. Number six, lay off those mood altering drugs. Chances are when you're sending out needy texts or whatever, it's on you're drunk, you're high, um, maybe you're on Phenibut. I've sent some dumb text out in the last 3 years, almost always when I was coming down off Phenibut. Um, by the way, I don't recommend you that drug anymore unless it's just once a week, and you are definitely not an addictive type, and you have um, the discipline to stick to it. Okay, in chances are when you're in an altered state, the probability of you doing something dumb, sending some dumb text to an ex-girlfriend, goes up like 3 times. If you're looking back right now and if you're nodding your head, you're like, well, you know, maybe we should cut out or cut down on those mood altering substances, at least till you're through whatever it is that you're going through. That's going to be a big move for you, because those substances tend to amplify, you know, emotions, and if you're going through some bad emotions, you know, sometimes it's going to be a bad situation with you doing something stupid and looking at your phone the next morning like, oh, why did I text her? It's always drama. And seven, last point, is own your own narrative. I've had a lot of guys message me like, you know, well, what do I say to this girl? Well, you know, what do I say to this woman? Like, does this look needy? And my response is just say it anyways, because at the end of the day, it's like, a lot of the time, this isn't even a girl who's met up with the guy, right? So why are we worried? Why are we so worried about what she's going to think? By owning your own narrative, like, know that you're not needy. Like, know that within yourself. Because that allows you, you know, there's a fine line between being sincere and then still like having to use game. I wish the world was different. I wish, you know, we could be a lot more sincere. I feel like I'm a lot more sincere and open than a lot of people. But sometimes you do have to hold that back a little bit. And there's kind of a fine line between, you know, once you start to see a girl and when to be sincere. I probably err on the side of aggression. I'm quite sincere. If I like a girl, I feel like I'm high value enough, and I know where that line is to really say it. Um, and I encourage sincerity in relationships with the right woman. But when you're sort of messaging girls before you've seen, you know, before you've met up, and maybe you're on Tinder, or you're sending out a message to a few women on looking to meet up or whatever, and you know, some of you guys might be sending out messages every day to try and find someone who's going to go out with you that night. You know, at the end of the day, like, if some girl thinks you're needy, that has nothing to do with your narrative, right? Like, you have to own your own narrative, especially if like that girl hasn't met up with you. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? It's the same thing with a client. Like, you know, if you're making 100 cold calls a day, and some secretary thinks you called too much, you know, who cares, right? You're trying to do what's best for your family, just like you're trying to like meet up with a girl, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you own your own narrative. Like, you know inherently, like at your core, that you're not needy, right? No one can make you feel anything, right? So some girl sends you something, some message about it. It's like, you just block her or delete her information, right? You're not worried about it because you're secure within yourself. Um, so you're able to be sincere. You're able to message exactly when you get a text from her without, you know, waiting the obligatory 2 hours because she's waiting 2 hours to respond to you and all that bullshit, right? You can speak from the heart, and you know, if she's giving you shit for it, then like she's not the one for like a higher level relationship. Um, so when you own your own narrative, you're able to be much more sincere because you know, like at your core, that you're not needy. Um, if that makes any sense. And that's it. So hope you found that useful. Hope that this video finds you well. If you want help with all this stuff, check me out, revolutionarylifestyledesign.com/coaching. Hop on my peak performance coaching, or check out my products, revolutionarylifestyledesign.com/products. Or you can go over the site and just check out in the sidebar the women's section. We've got a ton of articles, a ton of videos on YouTube for free. Or you can let me know what you think in the comment section on YouTube here, and I'll try and respond. So I wish you all the best in your personal development journey, and hope this video was useful.